before we get to any of that, January will come round, and fans will want me to ask you about, will there be money available to strengthen the team if needed?
Of course. We are always ready to invest, and don't worry about it. And if we need to strengthen the squad, of course, we have the capacity to do that immediately in January. And the only thing is, and from the philosophy of the club, and we want to do the right deal, and we don't want to make something wrong about it. We spend a lot of money on some player, but they never play well. You can see some bad examples in some other clubs, right? So I hope we can avoid that and try to have a stronger team, but also doing the right investment. So that's our strategy. And also in the meantime, try to give academy boys more chance to flourish. But eventually, of course, we understand our squad is still growing. But if you want to compete at a high level, we need to give Nuno and the team more support on how to strengthen the squad. So, but now it's still too early. Still too early. I think maybe by the end of November, it's the timing, because we have to review the performance of the players in the first team and review the growth of the academy boys, and also depending hugely on the market. Sometimes the market doesn't help. For example, in last window, many players and only maybe 1 season, 2 seasons playing well, there was more than 60, 70, 80 million. I feel a little bit frustrated about the market inflation. So depending on the market, but we are still working very hard. Our scouting team, they are working really hard around the Europe and the world, and to find good talent to help us. And also we know we are strong. We are maybe a little bit weak, and I keep talking with Nuno about it. So I think we will have a good window in January.
I think that's probably an important message, isn't it? That you have money to spend, but you want good value. You're not going to waste the money on things that aren't right.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes it's hard to say, because players, they are not commodities. They are. Yeah, for a commodity, for some investment, you can say the price is high or low, blah, blah. But for players, it's not so easy to judge the value. Sometimes, for example, if you spend 70, 80 million to buy Virgil van Dijk, he's so good and it's a good investment. So it depends on your deep knowledge about the player and about the shape, the formation, the style of our team, and whether the style of the player can be embedded into the team very seamlessly, and also the coach should like the player, and the player should like to play for us. Sometimes some players is very good, but he doesn't like the club. Then some problem from the dressing room will happen. So the very good thing about our squad is we have very good squads. They play very, very well, but also we have good people in the squad, and all our players, they are very good boys, and we have a very strong dressing room. So when we try to have one more player into our squad, we have to think about that and whether he will be a good plus to us. And so many factors we have to think about, and then we can have some judgment about what about the range of the value of the player, and what's the risk, and what's the growth potential. But in general, of course, the younger the better, because if you are younger and you have more potential to grow, to increase the value of yourself. And but in the market, the reality is even some very young players, 18 years, 19 years old, they are already very expensive. So I suppose it also depends on whether the market will have some consensus about how to evaluate all the players. And sometimes you have to find some space only you can see, and in some market, some league, and some player, if you can spot some player from that space, only you can see, it will be a good chance to buy them, to get them in. It's not easy. It's very hard, and I thought when we were in the championship, or when we were at a lower level, I think it's much easier because we have many more players to select. Just maybe we have 1,000 players to select, or 500 players. Now if you want to go to top 6, top 4 in the future, and the examples are less and less, and so your quality requirements for the players are high and high. So it's very natural, and you are competing in the market at a high level, and it's very hard. And actually, you are competing with maybe Man United, Man City, or the big teams in Europe to get the good players. So it's a good challenge for us, and but we are also strengthening the scouting team and try to make us solid enough and to compete in every window. And sometimes it's not about one window; it's about 2 or 3 or 4 windows to sort out one problem. And in the meantime, we have to strengthen the academy. I have been talking with Scott many times, and every week almost try to check our academy is ready or is growing fast to embrace the challenge in future and try to help the first team and long-termly.
Overall, what are your hopes for the rest of the season and moving forwards?
Just like Nuno said, game by game, game by game. I think we're still growing, we are still growing, and the Wolves, because we are a young team, and it's just the second season in the Premier League and also the first season in Europa League, so we have not so much pressure on ourselves. So I don't want to give the players and the club too much pressure to perform on the pitch, and I hope they can see the growth, and I hope they can embrace all the chance and to compete. To compete doesn't mean to guarantee to win. Just to compete means you just to be ready about yourself and to compete. And I think without pressure, and the team will do better. And only when we are at a level like the big teams, the big 6, big 4, then maybe the pressure will be high. But now I don't want to give the team too much pressure. I think just relax and play well and enjoy the moment, because we are at a very good moment. And sometimes I feel after you succeed, maybe you cannot feel so much satisfaction because it's like a routine for you. But only when you are growing, you are working harder to go to success. Along the road, you will be more happy and more excited because it's the growing process making you more happy. It's not the result. So that's my thought. I think enjoy the road, and until maybe at one point we will get there. Then I may feel a little bit hollow because after a long road we will get there. But now it's the moment we have to enjoy the most.